They said don't camp near Devil's Ridge. But we didn't listen. It was supposed to be a healing trip. After the miscarriage, after the endless nights of silence, and the wait that neither of us could name, Ethan said we needed to get away. Just the two of us. So he bought a rusted old RV from a guy in Amarillo who barely looked him in the eye. The thing had character, Ethan said. It had stories. Maybe that should have been the first warning. We left on a Friday morning in late October, driving west across Texas with no real destination. The road was freedom. The sky stretched forever. And for the first time in months, we laughed. We actually laughed. I remember the smell of that first morning, strong coffee and gasoline, the way Ethan always wore his hat backward when he drove. I remember thinking maybe this was how we fixed things. We passed through towns so small they didn't have names, just boarded up gas stations and weather-worn signs. It was in one of those towns, Wilmot, that everything changed. Ethan had pulled over to get gas. There was an old man sitting on a rocking chair outside a tiny store that sold more dust than food. When I asked if there were any good camping spots nearby, he didn't answer at first. Just looked at me with these pale, milky eyes like he was seeing through me. "Stay off Devil's Ridge," he finally said. "They don't like visitors." I smiled politely, thanked him, and walked away. I should have listened. We found Devil's Ridge by accident, or so we thought. The GPS didn't show anything, but there was a dirt road branching off the highway about 9 miles north. The trees looked wrong, twisted and red like they bled into the soil. Ethan said it looked cool. I felt sick. There was no sign. No welcome marker. Just the sound of crows and the way the forest swallowed the light. The ridge itself opened into a clearing with an incredible view. The valley below was covered in a thick, unmoving fog. We parked the RV and set up for the night. No signal. No other people. No sounds but the wind. That night, I heard footsteps outside the RV, slow. Heavy. They circled the vehicle twice, then stopped right by the door. I woke Ethan, and he shone the flashlight outside. Nothing. Just crushed grass. The next morning, something was carved into the tree beside the RV. "Welcome back." I asked Ethan if he did it. He laughed, but it sounded forced. I told myself it was probably an old carving. The bark was aged and flaked. But then I saw the symbol, some kind of spiral with jagged lines. We saw it again and again. On stones. On tree trunks. Even on the cracked compass Ethan found in the dirt. Things started happening. Small things at first. Food disappeared. Items moved. We blamed each other. Then we found another RV deeper in the woods, old, broken, forgotten. Inside were Polaroids from the early 90s. People smiling. Eating. Then suddenly, empty chairs. An abandoned fire. We took one of the photos back with us. That night it vanished. In its place was a new Polaroid, of me, asleep in our bed. I wanted to leave. Ethan insisted we stay. He said we were overreacting, that maybe we were being messed with by teenagers. But the truth was he'd changed. He stopped sleeping. Started walking off into the woods at night. He said he heard someone calling his name, a boy. I followed him once. I found him standing perfectly still at the edge of the cliff, whispering to the trees. When I touched his shoulder, he screamed like I was burning him. On the 5th night, he didn't come back. I searched the woods until sunrise. I screamed his name until my throat bled. And then I saw it, our RV. Only it was covered in vines, the metal rusted and torn. Like it had been abandoned for decades. I went inside. Everything was the same, but older. Dust on the shelves. Yellowed paper. And in the mirror, I didn't see myself. I saw another woman. Crying. Bleeding. Whispering something I couldn't understand. I ran. I don't remember much after that. Just flashes. Faces in the trees. A boy with no eyes. The sound of crows screaming. When I woke up, I was back in the RV. Everything looked normal again. Clean. Fresh. But Ethan was never found. His name isn't on any record. When I tried to leave, the road was gone. Just trees. Eventually, I walked. Miles and miles. Until I found a highway. A trucker picked me up. Said I was lucky he came by. No one ever drives that stretch. Said the road to Devil's Ridge washed out years ago. No one's been there since the fires. What fires? I asked. He looked at me funny. You serious? That place burned in '94. Some campers went missing. Whole area condemned. That was 6 months ago. Every night, I dream of that ridge. I hear Ethan's voice calling me back. I see the spiral. I wake up with dirt on my feet. If you ever find yourself near Wilmette, Texas, don't look for the red trees. And if you hear crows, run. Journal entry, Marissa Holloway, 1 year later. I lied. I didn't stay in Maine. Not for long. Something kept calling me. Whispering my name from inside dreams. I couldn't think. Couldn't breathe. I started sleepwalking again. Once, I woke up at the edge of a lake, 20 miles from my apartment. And last night, the whispering stopped. It became a scream. I bought a burner phone. Booked a bus ticket. And now I'm standing back at the edge of Devil's Ridge. The trees haven't changed. But they remember me. I can feel it. Audio log, Marissa Holloway. Day 1 back at the ridge. You probably won't believe this. But the clearing? It's exactly how we left it. The old fire pit. The carved tree. Even the cracked compass Ethan dropped. No vines. No decay. Like time never moved. Last night, I lit a fire and tried to sleep in the RV. I dreamed of Ethan. His eyes were gone, but he kept saying one thing. Turn it off. When I woke up, my phone was gone. The fire was cold. And next to me was a boy. Barefoot. Pale. No eyes. He didn't speak. He just pointed into the woods. And I followed. Ranger dispatch report, 2 weeks later. Caller reported hearing screams from the abandoned Devil's Ridge Trail. Officers dispatched. No signs of distress found. Discovered fresh footprints leading off marked paths. A campsite was located in the clearing, but no occupants. RV registered to a Marissa Holloway of Portland, Maine. Vehicle abandoned. Fire still warm. Compass placed on pillow. Last entry, Journal of Marissa Holloway. This place isn't cursed. It's hungry. It watches. It waits. It loops. I saw Ethan again today. Not a dream. Not a ghost. He was there, waiting near the ridge, smiling like he never left. He said time runs sideways here. He said the spiral marks the place where reality thins. He said we're all still here. Every camper. Every hiker. Just scattered. Layered. I asked him how I get out. He said, you don't. I'm writing this so maybe someone finds it. Maybe someone hears the warning. If you're reading this, don't follow the boy. Don't listen to the trees. Don't take the photo. And whatever you do, don't stay more than 5 nights. Appendix entry, found in Ranger Kersey's personal notes, unpublished. Sometimes you hear stories that don't sit right. The kind that cling to your bones. Back in the 80s, I found a hiker named Kyle near the ridge. He was naked, eyes scratched out, still breathing. Repeating the same phrase, they're not trees. They're veins. I retired 2 weeks later. But I still see the ridge in my dreams. And sometimes, I wake up with pine needles in my mouth. Epilogue, new victim, video transcript, found footage.